I have
That's
one
all.
more question connected to the distribution part as well. Is how do you really build the terms around the recycling slash reinvestment of the money, and how does that impact the distribution?
Yeah, yeah. Well, very good question. So recycling of credits. There's two. When I think of recycling, I think of it in two ways. I think of it as internal recycling and external recycling. So let's just define the terms so that we all know, we're all on the same page. That's what we mean when we say the word recycling, because I guess it can mean different things to different people. So I think of it in those two ways. External recycling is where the fund actually makes a distribution and then has the right to call that back for a further investment. Internal recycling means we're doing that same thing, but we're not round tripping the money. We're just keeping the money in the fund, and instead of distributing it and calling it back, we're using it again. There shouldn't be any difference between those two. I mean, there is a practical difference, right? Because in one case, this wire is going out and coming back, and in the other case, there's not. And internal recycling, the way it works is it's treated as if it's distributed and recalled at the time that it's applied within the fund or reapplied within the fund. So they're really both accomplishing the same thing in really the same way, except there's a facial difference where there's actually money moving in external recycling and there's no money going out and coming back in internal recycling, but it's treated the same way. So with that in mind, how does recycling impact distributions? So I think we have to talk about the third question and the last question, right? That third leg of this distribution stool, not what is distributed, not when is it distributed, but how is it distributed? And then let's come back to your question about recycling, because recycling is going to impact this last question, I think, of how does that factor into the math in a distribution waterfall?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.